Was Joe Biden in on the now infamous recognition of the Trans Day of Visibility that fell on Easter Sunday? Real Clear Politics' Philip Wegman tweeted out the following. When pressed about Speaker Mike Johnson condemning Biden, acknowledging and proclaiming that the Trans Day of Visibility, Biden responded, "I didn't do that." When said that's exactly what Johnson accused him of doing, President Biden replied, "He's thoroughly uninformed," leaving us with one of two options. Joe Biden doesn't know what's going on in his White House, and the radicals inside are running the asylum, or running the United States of America. Or Joe Biden did know and now is lying to the face of America. It's hard to know the truth. It's hard to know the truth in part because at least a third of our calendar now, according to Fox News Digital, who did a tally, a third of our calendar is devoted to LGBTQ celebration. Of course, the entire month of June is Pride. I really honestly wasn't very aware before this year of the Trans Day of Visibility. There's National Lesbians Day, Pink Day. There are so many days that you can't really sit here and memorize and repeat to an audience. But according to Fox News Digital, it makes up a full third of our annual calendar. It's also hard to know what to believe because this all seemed to come out the day after Easter. It came out on April 1st. It came out on April Fool's Day. April Fools. So historically, no one really knows where it all originated. Apparently it goes back to the 15th century. Maybe it was Geoffrey Chaucer. But what's weird about April Fools is it's celebrated not just across the Western world, but across most of the world, or much of the world at the very least. Celebrated in places like Iran. Celebrated here in America with some good ones. I mean, there was a sriracha flavored toothpaste, a Del Taco spicy flavored Tic Tac. Brands are jumping all over this. By the way, I experienced a horrific April Fool's Day. I mean, really angry. So my wife is super into April Fools, and I don't know why, but all of her college friends and all of her family knows she's super into April Fools. This past weekend, we've talked about this. Both of my sons are into soccer. They train pretty highly. They're on very competitive soccer teams. Very arguable that we as a family give too much attention to soccer. Well, last Friday, I was playing with the boys in the backyard, and they were playing barefoot, and my youngest son was shooting, and he shot, and now, by the way, he's also experiencing a massive growth spurt. Like, went to the doctor, more on that in a moment, went to the doctor, and he's not yet 13, and he's 5'8", and he's far outpacing his older brother, who's already 6'4". So I do think he's in that position of like, where is my body? Where are the ends of my limbs? Long and short of it is, shooting, he directly kicks the ground. And I knew it was serious because he's not like a easy crier or a sympathy loser's limp type. So I knew it was something not good. And it didn't take long for it to swell up like a basketball. But I mean, he was saying it like it hurts in the middle of, his metatarsal, the middle of the foot. And I'm like, I don't know how you'd break that by kicking the ground. I don't know what you did. So they went to the doctor yesterday, my wife and my son, to get an x-ray. And she texts me, it's looking like his season is going to be over. I said, come on, are you serious? I immediately knew, come on, April Fool. And she doesn't respond. She doesn't say, yeah, April Fool. Then she sends me a picture of him in a boot. Super sad face, suspiciously sad face, but still, I was left in that nether region. My cortisol levels were rising. I was stressed. Come on. Then she sends me an x-ray of his foot. I don't know if you've ever seen an x-ray of a foot, but I can't tell if something's broken or not. All those bones, by the way, a lot of bones in your feet, and there are spaces and lines between them, and I can't tell. She said it was broken in 3 places. And so I'm looking across all of those metatarsals going, is that broken? And I'm super mad because I'm already feeling like I'm being left in the nether region of whether or not it's true or false. I don't know. And she doesn't respond to texts, which she later says texts weren't going through at the doctor's office. And I told her at the time, I will never forgive you if you're doing an April Fool's. And she did. It's a horrific, bad taste April Fool's. And I told her, as punishment, I'm going to tell the entire nation what a witch you are on April Fool's. So, had my own here in the house, in the Kane Manor, on April Fool's. By the way, Scotch brand tape put out a Scotch, or suggested they're putting out a label of Scotch, whiskey. And that takes us to Scotland. I don't know what's going on in Scotland. I don't know what's going on, okay? But it is an April Fool's. Scotland's national parliament has passed a hate crime law that would make it a crime for you to misgender someone. Call A man who says he's a woman, a man. Well, of course, Scotland's most infamous or notorious or celebrated reality truth teller is, interestingly, fiction best-selling author J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter. And J.K. Rowling went to Twitter immediately, and she said stuff like, "I hope that I am arrested when I return if this is the price of free speech." She tweeted, "Scotland's Hate Crime Act comes into effect today, and women gain no additional protection, of course. But well-known trans activist Beth Douglas, darling of the prominent Scottish Parliament politicians, falls within a protected category." Rowling then goes on to highlight 10 celebrated trans activists, right? All men pretending to be women. And then at the end, she tweets, "April Fools, all of these people." Only kidding, of course. Obviously, the mentioned people in the above tweets aren't women at all, but they're men, every last one of them. In passing the Scottish Hate Crime Act, Scottish lawmakers seem to have placed a higher value on the feelings of men performing their exhibition than on the protection of women or on the Western civilizational fundamental, foundational value of freedom of speech. I don't know what's going on in Scotland, and it's hard to know anymore with April Fools what's real or what's fake. The Babylon Bee said, "CNN on April Fools publishes real news," a true headline. It also hit my radar that the FDA has not taken down their infamous ivermectin tweet that "you are not a horse," despite a legal settlement 11 days ago where the FDA promised to take down propaganda that was not true, villainizing one of the world's safest and celebrated medications, ivermectin, regardless of its effectiveness on COVID. Nobel Prize winning, effective, and safest medications in existence, villainized as "you are not a horse." And that was told to us as real news. Taking us back to Joe Biden. I don't know if he was in on the Trans Day of Visibility. I don't know what's real. I know that either way, if his little radicals put out that tweet without his knowledge, that's an embarrassment on the White House. That makes Joe Biden a fool. If, in fact, he did know and now he is lying, that makes him someone who willingly declared the Trans Day of Visibility, celebrated it on Easter Sunday, and then, to compound his sin, looks in the eye of America and lies, which would be not unheard of for Joe Biden. And either way, it makes him April's fool.